The day the 25-foot granny came to Limerick, I could feel something very special was happening. It was the first trickle in the wave of optimism that we are feeling in washing over Limerick today. As you walk down our streets, you can feel the sense of excitement in the air. You feel that anything can happen, and it's the people of Limerick that are leading this conversation. It's an exciting time to be here, and I think I can pinpoint the moment that our city started viewing ourselves less of a city on the defensive, but more of a place that you can take risks and feel that they will pay off. But first, I'd like to talk to you about the curse of St. Munchin. St. Munchin is the patron saint of Limerick. And the story goes that the workmen employed on the building of the ancient church of St. Munchin were one day struggling to lift a very heavy block of stone to a certain part of the work. The saint, who was there at the time, appealed to the locals to ask them if they'd lend a hand. They refused. He then asked some strangers who were passing by, who readily lent their assistance. He fervently thanked the strangers, and he prayed that strangers would always prosper in Limerick, whereas the natives would be unsuccessful and unfortunate. There's something about this curse that feeds into our psyche. Whenever something bad happens in Limerick, we feel that this story rears its ugly head again and again. While the whole country was enjoying a period of economic prosperity, a massive tech manufacturer in Limerick closed its doors, which led to 9,500 job losses. A gang feud tarnished our city's reputation, and businesses and development stalled as a result of the global financial crisis. People were beginning to think there was actually some merit to St. Munchin's curse. This pessimistic way of thinking, it's contagious, and it can perpetuate if it's supported. But the same is also true of optimism. And when I talk about optimism, I'm not talking about being blind to the problems and challenges of the world. I'm talking about seeing opportunities. When a pessimist is faced with adversity, they give up. But when an optimist is faced with adversity, they look for solutions. Here's a quick example. After a job loss, it'll take an optimist 4 to 6 weeks on average to get back into the job hunt. It'll take a pessimistic person 3 to 6 months. There are health benefits too to being optimistic. A study of over 5,000 people showed that those who were most optimistic were 76% more likely to have health scores in the ideal range. So it's obviously great to be an optimist. But how do you achieve optimism in a community that is suffering? Former US President Barack Obama, he believes in relentless optimism. He believes that positivity is often incremental rather than revolutionary. And he said, our successes, even though they are sometimes small and incomplete, accumulate, they build, and they create a trajectory that's better. I agree. You have to work hard on your positivity, and you have to celebrate every little win to build a culture of optimism. However, I disagree about the revolutionary part. I feel that there can be catalysts for change, and I think art can be a powerful catalyst. It's a simple theory, but beautiful spaces create beautiful people. And the people of Limerick were itching to just celebrate the first bit of genuine positivity that came to their town. And so it happened. In 2014, Limerick became Ireland's first city of culture. What happened in the city is that the City of Culture initiative was to deliver a program of arts and cultural events to the people of Limerick. So obviously our museums, our galleries, our cultural sectors, they were well catered for. But much more importantly, it delivered to the wider public. Some highlights of the City of Culture initiative were the Argentinian theatre group Fuerza Bruta, who brought their theatre to a disused building that was left vacant by the tech producer I talked about earlier. A small group of a local community group set up Draw Out, urban exhibition, who brought internationally recognized street artists to transform our city. But the undisputed highlight of the whole City of Culture was a 25-foot tall puppet from a French collective, Royal Deluxe. This giant granny marched down our streets, flanked on all sides by her enthusiastic puppeteers, to rapturous applause from a giddy audience. She urinated in our streets, she took a nap in our parks, and her booming voice echoed through our town in her own unique language. The beauty of the granny was how accessible she was. She struck a chord with all ages and cultures because she was familiar. She struck the perfect balance of oddness and relatability to create a truly magical moment. I believe that this moment was the beginning of Limerick's optimistic renaissance. The following year, Limerick threw its name into the hat for a competition to become the European capital of culture. Our local agency were lucky enough to be involved in the branding and the creative campaigns to help promote this city, or to promote the bid. We wanted to echo the identity of the Limerick people. We wanted to echo the rawness, the humour, and the diversity of the people. We wanted to work with everyone, just as the granny did the previous year. So here is one of the videos that we created.
Go! Take it on the run!
As I said, we wanted to represent everyone in Limerick. So we worked with all sorts of groups. We worked with older communities. We worked with children's groups. We even created a treasure map with the Poets Society. And we started gathering real content from real people and started putting their messages in public spaces all over our city. Some of these messages still stand today. And every time I walk over Sarsfield Bridge, I feel proud to have been part of this project. Limerick, unfortunately, didn't win its bid, but something much greater happened. People were boosted by these 3 years of cultural exhibitionism, and they were instilled with a sense of confidence. They were instilled with a pride of place and a sense of ownership of the city. All of a sudden, they were boosted by this new optimism, which allowed their ideas to flourish. New ideas were sprouting up all over the place, and not just about art. It fed into the wider community as well. Now, Limerick's music scene is the envy of all of Ireland, with the music generation creating a unique community of idea sharing. In 2017, the hip-hop trio Rusangano family won Ireland's Choice Music Prize. In sport, our hurlers have gone on to win the All-Ireland Championship, and they were boosted and buoyed by an infectious enthusiasm that fed into the fans. Our council are taking risks too. with the innovative Limerick 2030 acquiring derelict buildings in our city and earmarking them for development. And just a few months ago, a local community group took action, took matters into their own hands, and they raised their issue over a building being left vacant in Limerick City Centre since 2008. The University of Limerick listened to us, and they acquired this building. Now they will have their first city centre campus, and I believe that just having students, more students in the city, will be one of the most positive impacts in Limerick in the last decade. All of this, I believe, has stemmed from an artistic spectacle. For if you can create art that is honest, accessible, and suitable to its surroundings, it can really transform a city. Imagine having the opportunity to do that for your own community. It can be done. Just give the people art. Thank you.